it's just so crazy to me how entitled people feel to your time, to your space, and to your business. 40-year-olds, elders, like just people of the older generation, like baby boomers and up. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but they do not respect boundaries at all. When 2020 happened and everything went virtual and people were doing Zoom calls and phone calls to conduct all of their business, I feel like we're still dealing with the aftermath of that, where people feel like they have 24/7 access to you. And then, God forbid, you don't answer or you're not available. People will get upset with you. And it's like, do you think I'm just sitting around by the phone waiting on you? Like, my senior year of college, I wanted that to be about me. I wanted that to be about me, my happiness, and my well being. I had spent my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year was the COVID year, but I'll still include that one. I spent my first 3 years of college not taking care of myself, overextending myself, constantly making myself available for other people, constantly putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And I just wanted to be calm, cool, collected, and at peace my senior year, which required me to say no to things. And when I tell you that caused so many issues, hey everyone, it's Brie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about boundaries. And, usually I have like a little outline for my videos, but this one, I'm going to just speak from the heart because, yeah. Boundaries. And people have talked about, setting boundaries a lot in the past couple of years surrounding, the more uptick in conversations when it comes to mental health and everything like that. And with the holiday season coming around, I see more and more people talking about setting boundaries, especially with their family. Because, unfortunately, a lot of people come from toxic family households. And, there's always that conversation of, whether or not you come around for the holidays. But I don't really want to talk about that specifically. I just want to talk about setting boundaries in general and why it is that people don't respect boundaries. I don't understand it. Like, I have had an issue with setting boundaries with people more than ever in the past year. And it's just so crazy to me how entitled people feel to your time, to your space, and to your business. Like, I really don't understand why people, and maybe it's because of social media and because we're in this era where we tell people everything and, we're constantly available, at least digitally, to people. So people feel the need to always, be in your business, know what you're doing, know where you're at. But we gotta stop. We really have to stop doing that, and we have to start respecting people's boundaries. I really don't understand why that's such a hard concept for people to understand. And I feel like I've more so had this issue with people that are older than me. So people that are in like the 30 plus crowd. Maybe not 30 plus. I'll say 40 plus. The 40 plus crowd, they don't seem to respect boundaries at all. And I don't know if this is just the 40-year-olds I've been around, or not just 40-year-olds, 40 plus. So 40-year-olds, elders, like just people of the older generation, like baby boomers and up. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but they do not respect boundaries at all. You literally can tell them up and down all day that you don't feel comfortable discussing something. They don't care. They're going to keep asking you questions. They're going to keep inquiring about it, even if you don't feel comfortable discussing it. They'll be quick to, make you speak to people or talk to people that you don't feel comfortable around. Like, they just don't understand boundaries at all. And for me, right, with me living at home, I've had this major issue with not being able to establish boundaries with living at home, because it's just that whole thing of like, well, you're under my roof, so I'm entitled to know what you're doing at all times, who you're talking to, and all this and that. And I've kept expressing that, hey, like, those things really bother me. I don't really appreciate you, constantly in my business and constantly wanting to know what I'm doing and trying to see what's on my phone and asking me who am I talking to and asking me why am I up at certain hours of the night. Like that's literally none of your concern. But it's like parents feel the need to know every little thing about your life. And it's like it's one thing to like just naturally want to tell your family stuff as opposed to them feeling entitled to it. And I think that's the issue when it comes to people who don't respect boundaries. It's like they just don't respect your boundaries. They don't respect you having, privacy. Same thing with people, inquiring about sensitive topics like granted I'm not really in this stage yet, but I know a lot of women who have to deal with people constantly asking like, when are you having kids, and are you pregnant, and what's your dating life like, who are you dating, how many people are you dating, like are you looking to get married soon. Like people just are very invasive with their questions about your personal life. And it's like, God forbid you say, hey, like this is a sensitive topic for me, I don't feel comfortable discussing it right now. People will take personal offense to it. Like, oh, why don't you want to tell me what's going on? Why are you being so secretive? Like, I don't understand why we're in this era where people feel like all of your business is owed to everybody. And granted, I'm just speaking in terms of like family members and friends. Let's not even get into social media, who you have strangers on the internet that feel entitled to other people's business. Like it's just so crazy. And yes, we do live in a time now where people are kind of volunteering their personal information, but you still have some of us who are still a little bit more private and don't want to discuss everything. For instance, I'll just say for me, right? Like everybody wants to know why me and my ex broke up. I get those questions from time to time, whether anonymously or again family members a lot, being like, oh, why did y'all break up? Like what happened? And I say it over and over and over again. I'm not discussing it. I'm not talking about it. Like literally, y'all will never know why. That's not something that I will ever get on this camera and discuss and go into details about. Just know it didn't work out. That's all. That's all you need to know. But people are so nosy and people feel so entitled to your personal business, like they'll just keep asking. Because again, I have a family member who does this. It's like I have told them time and time again, I'm not discussing it. I'm not. And I've told them this for months, and literally just the other day they asked again, like, "Oh, you never tell me what happened with you and so and so," and I'm not going to. It's so crazy to me when people just don't respect your boundaries when it comes to your personal business, but also even just your time. People don't respect people's time anymore, and I know that's kind of always been an issue, but just from my own observation, I feel like it became way more of an issue with the pandemic. When 2020 happened and everything went virtual and people were doing Zoom calls and phone calls to conduct all of their business, I feel like we're still dealing with the aftermath of that, where people feel like they have 24/7 access to you. And it's just so crazy to me. Like, even because I've dealt with this, and I know other people have dealt with this, where it's like even when you're working remotely, people think you're just, you're available at any time, any day, and they don't check in. Like people don't they don't schedule things with you anymore. They don't say like, "Hey, what day are you free? What time are you free?" Or even giving you a nice enough of a window to be like, "Hey, I like to meet with you in like, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours. Can you do it?" And asking you. No, people will now be like, "Hey, I need you to hop on a Zoom call with me in like 2 minutes. Can you get on?" No, I can't get on. Like it's like what? Like people thinking that you can just hop on a Zoom call, hop on a FaceTime, like, and then God forbid you don't answer or you're not available, people will get upset with you. And it's like, do you think I'm just sitting around by the phone waiting on you? Like, no, I'm not doing that. And another thing too, and I think I saw this I don't know if it was like I think it was a tweet. I saw a tweet and it basically was talking about how people will, say all day long that, you should go ahead and take a mental health break and people shouldn't feel the need to overextend themselves. But then as soon as you tell them, hey, I need a break, I need a mental health day, I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to hang out with anybody, people don't take it lightly. And I I had to retweet that tweet because I'm like, yes, people. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I found the tweet, y'all. I found the tweet. I might put it on the screen, but I'm gonna read it regardless. So the tweet says, they say you should tell people when you're having bad mental health days so that you're not just ghosting them. But if I say, hey, sorry, I'm struggling today and that's why I'm not being responsive, no one is gonna be like, okay, cool, I'll leave you alone. It has the opposite effect. I related to this so much because I kid you not, and this goes back to the boundaries thing. My senior year of college, I wanted that to be about me. I wanted that to be about me, my happiness, and my well being. I had spent my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year was the COVID year, but I'll still include that one. I spent my first 3 years of college not taking care of myself, overextending myself, constantly making myself available for other people, constantly putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And I just wanted to be calm, cool, collected, and at peace my senior year, which required me to say no to things. And when I tell you that caused so many issues, I feel like I was in conflict with people my entire senior year was draining. It was very draining, and I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be fun and relaxing and peaceful, but I couldn't do that because it required me to put myself first. And it's like, God forbid I do that, and I end up pissing off everybody. Like, literally everybody would get upset if I wasn't available to do something. As soon as I said, no, I don't want to go to this function. No, I don't want to hang out tonight. I'm mentally drained. Every time I wanted to take a break from myself, if it wasn't in favor of what someone else wanted to do, everyone would get upset. Everyone would get upset. They would guilt trip me like, oh, you don't want to hang out with us? You don't want to. And it's like, it's not about y'all. I'm telling you, I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. And the problem with that too is that, and it's like for me, sometimes I just like to show up to places and just exist. I just like to exist. I just want to be there. I just want to be in the environment and not feel pressure to be a certain way. But every single time I'm hanging out with people, it's like I have to put on a performance because naturally, I'm more so like quiet, and I don't typically talk a lot, especially if I'm not like that close to you. But even if I am that close to you, I don't always feel like talking. Sometimes I just want to come there. And especially if you're discussing things that I can't relate to, like if you're talking about like a party y'all went to last week, I can't contribute to the conversation, so I'm gonna sit there and be quiet. But people get bothered by that, and that's another video I need to talk about too. People who are bothered by quiet folks, because that's another issue in itself. But no, like, people will have an issue with that, like if I'm not talking enough. And it's like, I already told you I was mentally exhausted prior to coming out, and now I'm coming here with y'all mentally exhausted, and now you're saying like, oh, why'd you even come? Because you're barely talking when you're around. And it's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like, and so it's like, it's so crazy to me when people feel like you need to make yourself constantly available to them, because guess what, 9 times out of 10 those people are not doing the same for you. And I can honestly say the people who have constantly wanted me to be there, come to this function, do this, do that, they don't feel inclined to do the same thing in return. It's excuses when I want it in return. And so it's just so crazy to me when people do that. And again, I've had that same situation with a certain family member of mine where every time she needs a favor, she wants me to do it. And granted, I don't need anything from her necessarily, but it's just that sense of entitlement. Because as soon as I say I'm busy or I can't right now, or whatever the case may be, then it's, oh, you don't ever want to do this. You don't ever want to do anything for me. And it's like, no, I don't want to do it today. Like, it's so crazy the amount of expectations that people will put on you, but then they can't even, hold themselves up to that same standard. It's so crazy to me. And again, I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind going out of my way for people more if it was being done in return. But because people always have a million excuses when it comes to me, I've just stopped doing that. But it's just so crazy because it's like, as soon as you stop doing that and as soon as you start saying no to people, they get upset. As soon as you say no to wanting to go out, people get upset. If you tell someone, hey, I don't want to tell you my personal business and I don't want to discuss this, people get upset. And it's like, we really have to stop doing that. Y'all want to talk about mental health and do what's best for you and prioritize yourself. But then when you have a friend that's doing that, you make them feel bad for it. And that's not fair either. And so I say all that to say, please, if someone is setting a boundary with you, do not take it as an insult or disrespect or just taking it personally in general, especially if they're communicating to you why. Like if they're saying, hey, I don't want to talk about this thing because I'm not comfortable with it. Don't turn around and then say, "Oh, I thought we were close. I thought we were friends. I thought we was family. I thought, we was close enough to where you could tell me about this thing." They're literally telling you it's just a sensitive topic for them and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe it's triggering for them. Like you never know what people are going through. So just respect what it is. There's the other thing too. People also want you to over explain yourself when no should be enough. I shouldn't have to go into detail about why I'm depressed for you to not take offense if I don't feel like talking or I don't feel like going out. If I'm telling you I'm mentally drained so I don't want to go out tonight, that should be the end of it. Don't try to force more out of me. And then when I don't give you more information, you're like, oh, you're lying or you're not being truthful. No, I just don't want to discuss it. And that's it. Same thing with, if you're wanting me to hop on a Zoom call or a FaceTime call in like 2 minutes and I'm like, no, I'm not available. Don't sit there and pry and be like, oh, what are you doing right now? It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm not available right now, but we can reschedule for a later time. Like, I don't understand the sense of entitlement that people have when it comes to folks wanting to set boundaries. But please, if you're one of those people, stop. Please stop. Because again, people have their different reasons for different things. It should be respected. And if they're taking the time and they have the emotional bandwidth to explain to you why they are setting a certain boundary, as their friend and as someone that cares for them, you should respect that boundary and not pry about it. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the topic. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. If you guys have had issues with setting boundaries with folks, let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys know when I drop new videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.